inside a small garage near Golden.
Almost exactly 10 minutes to the front door of Coors. I drove it for 32 years.
Is another budding American success story.
Apple Computer started in a garage, and Microsoft also started in a garage. The fermentation is starting to become alive. The yeast is fermenting. With dark ales, they have a lot of dark malty sweetness that really lends itself well to spices.
Keith Villa is brewing up.
Let's give it a taste. There's not much alcohol, so it should be sweet, but go ahead and smell it. Just lots of rich aromas in there from the malts and the hops.
Very rich.
What could be the next big thing in the Colorado craft beer market.
THC beverages, we have a Belgian white, and we have an IPA, what we call microdosed products.
He's calling his company Saria, and Keith's name and face might sound and look familiar to you.
This is Jeopardy!
You're free for 1,000.
This ale with a lunar name was created in 1995 by Keith Villa, who suggested serving it with an orange slice. John.
What is Blue Moon?
Blue Moon, good.
My claim to fame is I started Blue Moon Brewing Company, and it grew to become very popular.
After retiring from Blue Moon and Coors 3 years ago, Villa is on to greener pastures.
When you remove alcohol from beer, beer is actually really healthy.
Cannabis-infused beverages, or drinkable weed, if you will.
This is really cool back here.
A booming industry.
Just like normal beer or soda production, we do the exact same process on.
At Keef Brands in Denver, General Manager Matt Baumgartner feels cannabis-infused drinks represent an untapped windfall of potential.
We believe so, obviously, and then we have a lot of the people that are just trying to get off alcohol as well, that is looking for a substitute.
And just like Saria's beers, Keef's seltzers and sodas are different this time around.
But I think it's the best tasting root beer out there.
At Keef, they're infusing everything from root beer to raspberry soda.
So I think the sky is the limit.
At Saria, the beer tastes like,
Oh my gosh, that's really good.
well, beer.
The flavor.
We tried out the non-infused, non-alcoholic version. It's certainly way different than those skunky-tasting, weed-infused drinks a few years ago.
Breaking down and getting rid of all those grassy flavors that you used to get.
Colorado is yet again taking the lead on weed with brands like Keef and Ojai out of Durango.
It's a socially enjoyable way to consume cannabis. It's not smoking, it's better for you. It's actually significantly faster acting.
And that's another thing. Ojai co-founder Matt Vincent says drinkables are much different than edibles.
I ate a gummy, I waited an hour, I didn't feel it, so I ate 3 more. Because of the way that the THC is infused into the liquid, it actually starts absorbing the instant it hits your mouth.
We know you might have had that experience where you just got way sideways on a edible at some point, but with a beverage, and the cool thing about that is that you can actually dose yourself.
Most of these drinks are just 5 to 10 milligrams of THC, some as low as 2.5, way less than most edibles and smokables. And the price is right, too.
Anywhere from $5 to $7.
Of course, these drink makers are still navigating a tricky business of heavy regulations and laws that vary state to state.
If you want to create a brand that exists in multiple states, then you need to be creative.
As Denver attorney Bob Hoban explains, you still can't transport these products across state lines. So Keef, Saria, and Ojai have to be produced and canned in each state where they're sold.
We've had to recreate an entire supply chain in every single state.
But Hoban, who is one of the leading cannabis attorneys in the world, says we're on the precipice of big changes here at home.
There's this belief that we're going to be beyond the prohibition of cannabis in the United States very soon.
Our Canadian neighbors to the north have already legalized marijuana, and Mexico is now poised to do the same.
It'll be the largest country in the world with legalized cannabis. And then you have the United States sitting here in the middle. We're leaving dollars on the table.
Hoban says legalization in the U.S. could start with the passage of the Safe Banking Act in Congress as early as next summer.
I believe that's the first step towards federal legalization.
In the cannabis industry, you still can't get a normal checking account.
And those on the front lines could be the toast of yet another American success story.
I haven't felt this good since I created Blue Moon.
With photojournalist Adam Hilberry.
It reminds me of what craft beer was 25 years ago.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.